Happy Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, everyone. I wanted to come on really quick and give Dr. King the honor that's due his name, and just to say thank you and pay tribute and honor him for all he's done in our society today, especially for African Americans. But what he stood for was definitely equality all over the nation, and I just wanted to honor him. I think is very important and very fitting, especially for everything that we've been discussing this month, from SMART goals to trying to figure out our why in life, to trying to figure out on how to keep going in life, even in the face of challenges, obstacles, in the midst of adversity, in the midst of brokenness, hurt, pain, trying to overcome, learning forgiveness, asking the Lord to deliver us from anything that's hindering us, whether it's bitterness and resentment, due to rejection. Dr. King is just so appropriate, and what he stood for is so appropriate in this season. And if we could kind of like lock in and just really reflect on his life and what he done and what he's done and what he stood for, I think that's very important. And how resilient, I can't talk tonight, and how resilient he was in battle. With that being said, I like to share an insert from his speech that I found on, it was a newsletter I found on the internet, an NPR newsletter that was posted January 16th, 2023, around 10:32 a.m. under the category of race. And I'm a banker, so this part of the speech, all of it resonates with me, but I was like, oh, I would definitely have to pull this out, and I want you all to ponder on this. So here's the excerpt. 100 years later, the Negroes live on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. 100 years later, the Negro is still languished in the corners of the American society and finds himself in exile in his own land. And so we've come here today to dramatize a shameful condition. In a sense, we've come to our nation's capital to cash a check. When the architects of our republic wrote the magnificent words of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, they were signing a promissory note to which every American was to fall heir. This note was a promise that all men, yes, black men as well as white men, would be guaranteed the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. It's obvious today that America has defaulted on this promissory note insofar as her citizens of color are concerned. Instead of honoring this sacred obligation, America has given the Negro people a bad check. A check which has come back marked insufficient funds. But we refuse to believe the Bank of Justice is bankrupt. We refuse to believe that there are insufficient funds in the great vaults of opportunity of this nation. And so we've come to cash this check, a check that will give us, upon demand, the riches of freedom and the security of justice. We have also come to this hollow spot to remind America of the fierce urgency of now. This is no time to engage in the luxury of cooling off or to take the tranquilizing drug of gradualism. So that includes the excerpt that I got from the NPR newsletter, again, dated back January 16, 2023, but that resonated with me a lot. I am a banker, and I have conversations every day with people about insufficient funds and bad checks, and it just resonated so well with me. And just in the face of unfairness, mistreatment, and unforgiveness. And here's the thing. More importantly, it's not about how wrong you were, right? It's actually about you getting it right. and you learning to live a life of forgiveness, and for you to learn to love one another and honor each other no matter the wrong, no matter the difficulty, and to walk in the freedom and to stand for something and to find your why. And once you do, to chase after it with all your might. But not in vain. Not out of selfish ambition. But we should aspire to be like Dr. King, who was on a mission to change the world, to make sure that everybody was treated fairly and equally, and especially the African American race. I didn't mean to get all teary-eyed on you guys. That was definitely not a part of the plan, but it came out, and it is what it is. I can definitely shed a tears as I think about the words of Dr. King and as I reflect back on what he stood for. So I hope you all found the article to be beneficial and interesting. I also wanted to let you guys know that I am thinking about dropping my first or next digital product. And I want to know, what is it that you want to learn about? Like and subscribe to my YouTube channel at the Kalila Connection. Drop and leave me some comments. Talk to me. I talk back. You all have a blessed week. Thank you for tuning in to the Kalila Connection. Follow me on X at Kingdom_Chick. You can also follow me on Instagram at Kalila Speaks. You all have a blessed night.